Hey everybody, how's it going? We are going to do a 5-year review on my Crestliner MX21 here. Currently doing some work on it, got some batteries up here, switching some out, but just wanted to stop by and talk about a few things. One, they discontinued it. So that's something we're gonna talk about later in the video, but I just wanted to go through the boat really quickly, show you guys everything, and kind of give you a 5-year review on what I think about the boat. We'll start with Fishability. This boat has a huge front deck. I mean, everyone I get on here always talks about how big the deck is, how easy to fish off of, how you can fit, 3 people if you really wanted to up here. So it has amazing fishability. Next thing I kind of want to talk about is the quality. So the biggest problem I've had with this boat is just the quality of the little things. So for example, having to replace these handles here because some of them break. Even this one's this one's not even that good. Also piano hinges. I had the piano hinge on that break. Luckily I got it fixed, but that one broke. So now it locks and everything. And then just little things like, for instance, I keep blowing the fuse on a few of my switches for my courtesy lighting. And then, just little stuff like this little back piece, the little piece of almost, I think it's like a piece of plywood that snapped in half, so it's like a weird crease. Vinyl's kind of falling apart. Seats are staying in good shape. Seats are in good shape, which I do clean them. I do try to keep this boat relatively clean. Carpet's in okay shape. Live oil. I mean, everything back here runs really great. I'm getting rid of those 3 lead acids. Now I'm also replacing that AGM cranking. Everything back here works good. All the pumps have been working. No complaints there. I got Lowrance 10-inch in the dash. That works well. My Garmin live scope here works well. So everything, as far as, that's not really, I guess it's not really part of Crestliner, but it's all been working pretty well. The rigging, whatnot. So I'm happy with that. Next thing I want to talk about is the overall boat itself. So first things first, paint's fine. There's chips, scratches, whatever. That's just from, normal usage. That's kind of me to blame. One thing I don't like is the keel has stripped a lot of paint off of, and that's just from it rubbing up on the rollers. That's kind of, I feel like they should have thought about that. It's got some dock rash here, so that's no big deal. I think my biggest gripe I have with the actual boat itself is going to be the speed. So they took it down. Well, actually, we'll talk about this whole thing later. So they took it down, but the advertised speed when this first came out on the website, I wish I took a screenshot, was 70 miles an hour. They said they're going to this boat up to 70. This boat will not hit more than 65. You can talk to anyone that has one. My boat, I can get my boat to 60. But I mainly cruise around like 57, 58. And that anything over 60 is, you're kind of just flying around. So that's not good. So the next thing, we'll walk back here. I want to talk about the Mercury. This is my first Pro XS. I know everyone has one, but I've been really impressed with this motor. It's great hole shot. That's a great thing. One thing about this boat. This boat has the fastest hole shot out of any boat I've ever fished out of. I mean, quickness, it could almost beat anyone, but as far as, once the other boat gets up on pad, you're getting past. Next thing I want to talk about is the trailer. This is a caravan trailer made out of Wisconsin. This is the worst trailer I have ever owned in my life. So I have had multiple welds break. This one broke, had it rewelded. Across there broke. Another one on the back side broke. Just the craftsmanship is terrible. I've replaced both of those axles on this boat. So both those axles are actually aftermarket. These bunks completely fell off, these side bunks. I've had to replace them. I got to do this again because I didn't even do that great of a job replacing them. And then these side fenders, or whatever you can call them, these things, I've gone through 4 of these. So just a horrible trailer. Honestly, and I'm not big on bashing companies. I'm not big on bashing companies or anything, but I mean, this thing is just a terrible, terrible thing. So, all right, guys. So overall, the boat itself is great. I really like it. The trailer, obviously, you guys already know how I feel about that. But the boat is great. It's a little slow. Has great fishability. You know, I think it's good. You know, I'm happy with the purchase. At the time, I got it for a good price. You know, I got this thing fully rigged out for under $70,000, which, you know, that was about 5 years ago. So that's still a pretty good price for this boat. But here's the real question. You know, why did Crestliner discontinue this boat? Why did they decide to move away from the MX model and go with, I think what they have now is like a smaller version, like it's like an 18-foot or 17 boat. So I think that there's a couple reasons why. Let me explain. So number one, John Cox leaving Crestliner. So when he left Crestliner and to go to Vexus, I think that was a big move, and he pushed a lot of these boats. To be honest with you, I spoke with him and Keith Carson on DMs, just talking about the boat. They were great advocates for the boat when I bought it. So that was part of the reason why I kind of got moved into buying one of these. Second, you know, I just think the sales were lower. This boat's a unique boat. It's a barge. It's a very large, very wide. Probably can't fit in a lot of garages. And it's also it has a unique layout, you know, so it's not your standard classic glass boat or even your standard aluminum boat. It's a little different, so I think, you know, it has a certain buyer that it appeals to, and that's not everybody. Third thing and final thing, I think just that overall, Crestliner in the bass scene is not as big as some of its competitors. You know, they have for instance, let's just use Express. They have a larger footprint than Crestliner does. They have more pros on staff. Even Vexus is a little more, I don't use the word reputable, but well known. Crestliner typically has, you know, more of the deep V's, has, you know, like the fishing skis, more of like, you know, I don't want to call them like lake boats, but, you know, more of the big water boats, deep V, walleye boats, troller boats, more of that scene. But that's just my 2 cents. So whatever you think, why do you think Crestliner discontinued the MX21? Comment below and let me know. Let me know what you think of my boat. Let me know what you think about Crestliner's choice with that. And just let me know what you think, because honestly, I think it's a good boat. I like it. I'm probably going to run it for another 5-7 seasons before I even just think about getting a new boat. So let me know what you think, and I appreciate you watching, and tune in next time. Thanks, guys.